Hey my friend, it's been a little while since we last did this, hasn't it? I mean, I haven't spoken to you guys in quite some time. I don't think I've ever gone this far in between video uploads, and I haven't really been like active this summer. And it's like there are some personal reasons for that, and I want to like share with you guys why. And I honestly think that I just owe it to you, and also to like share with you the future, you know, of this channel. Plus, what am I even doing here?
And why on earth are there a whole bunch of cows around me?
And why the hell does that Icelandic guy still live in Sweden? And most importantly, am I, you know, tired and about to quit this YouTube thingy? Well, my friends, we seriously need to talk.
Now, before we dive into the meat of the story, then I do think it's important for you guys to understand, at least briefly, on why I, decided to chase after this YouTube dream and make this my occupation, and also why, Sweden, of all places on earth. I mean, I come from Iceland. They're one of the most beautiful places on earth, at least in my opinion. I'm not biased, but it's a pretty sick place. And now I've been in Sweden for many years. Why is that?
So to make a rather long story short and then more enjoyable for you to take a part of, then the reason that I started YouTube basically boils down to the fact that I was chasing my dream of becoming a full-time magician, and I was doing everything in my power that I can to make card magic be my life. Like, I'd been obsessed with card magic for God how know many years, and in that journey I decided to make a YouTube channel to help me get my name more out there. Now, at the time too, I was also traveling a lot. In one of those travels I met a beautiful Swedish woman. Now, we traveled together quite a lot, and then there came time to say goodbye. And often, you have been done that before, you might not never see this person again. But I sent her an email. I know this is 10 years ago. Smartphones existed, but they weren't really I didn't really have one then. And so I went to an internet cafe. Remember those? And sent an email and said hey, I just bought a ticket to you, and I'm coming. And that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship, which I'm still in.
Now, we ended up then doing this long distance thingy for quite some time, until I decided to just go for it and move to Sweden. Now, for me, that's I'm come from Iceland. I've been there most of my life, and I'd like the adventure of trying something new, So I packed my bags and came to Stockholm without any job. Now, in Iceland, I was doing card magic, and when, the gig economy wasn't providing enough, or I didn't have, there were some dry months, I did whatever I could get my hands on. I've done so many different jobs. I have bus license, I can drive big buses. I've worked shitty jobs, tons of them. I'm not educated, so you get the drill, But in Sweden, I had none of that, and I had been uploading, this is 2018, and I've been uploading then weekly content on YouTube. And I was looking at my magic channel, which still exists. I haven't uploaded there for a long time, and it was part magic and then also these travel vlogs, and I was starting to get pretty obsessed with photography. So I understood that you can't make, both photos and card magic in the same channel, so I made a new channel and made content on both of them channel for I think over a year, until I eventually ditched the magic channel. And here I was faced with the decision, there's a fence here. Last time I was here, there was no fence. Let me find this place for a camera and I'll tell you the rest.
But here in Sweden I had none of that. I mean, when you're working as a magician, you're relying on your network, because word of mouth spreads, and you get gigs based on, other people see you somewhere and you deal out your card, whatever. And I hadn't in Sweden, so I was faced with the decision, either try to build up that again or do something totally different. Now, I did have though my YouTube channel, which was a magic-based channel, but I'd also recently made a new channel around photography, which was quickly becoming a massive passion of mine, taking photos. And I decided to just go all in. I mean, at the time I had no kids and no job, and we lived on noodles, really, like we didn't have a lot. And just hammered every week on both channels, and the rest is kind of history. I mean, this is not a story about that, it's a story about why I haven't uploaded, and if it's been too much work, if I'm quitting, and what on God's earth, you know, am I doing in this place?
Now the next few years that follows is me in Stockholm just hammering out videos, building different types of studio, and really honing my skills as a content creator and a photographer. That's the person that I think you guys know the most, because that's where I've been living the last 6 years. Now life in Stockholm is great, it's a nice city, but the truth is that I'm a landscape photographer at heart. And I mean, I'm lucky that I can go to Iceland this often because of that YouTube is my job. Then I can stay there. We stay there for at least 5 weeks at a time. And there I can just go crazy when it comes to taking photos. But in Stockholm, it's just a big old European city. I mean, it's beautiful, and I do like street photography, and I treat it kind of like, you know, landscape photography. That's my type of street photography. I'm not that keen on taking, going up in people's faces and taking photos of them there. But I find leading lines, and I think about buildings as being, you know, mountains, and the streets might be, you know, rivers as leading lines and whatever. So I do enjoy it, but landscape photography is something that I like more.
Now in Stockholm, we lived in a tiny apartment, and I remember it so vividly when we got it that, I mean, we were just me and Elvira, just 2 young adults, and we got a small apartment, and we were just so happy. Finally we've been living in these second-hand renting places, and finally we got a contract that was ours. Quickly after that, our first kid was born. Now that was intense as it is, and she got colic. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but they don't know. Their stomach hurts of the babies, and they scream for hours every single day for lasted for a few months, 2-3 months if I remember correctly. That is intense, and I don't wish that on anybody, and we were so tired after that. And then quickly we got a second kid, and there somewhere, this is a small apartment, there somewhere we were we have to move. But then he also got a colic, so we have now a really small 1.5-year-old and a baby that is screaming every single day. And our energy was next to zero. I mean, this is a really tough time in my life. I still managed to hustle out weekly videos. I don't even think you guys notice it that much, but that was so tough. Mentally, physically, you know. I mean, how it was, and then it made it so much harder that we were in this tiny place, just 1-bedroom apartment. You could never go to the side, you know. And there somewhere the dream started to come that we should maybe try to move somewhere else. But we had no energy. You know, we had no energy. The energy was just sapped, and you're not sleeping at all. At least our experience with our kids, we weren't sleeping anything, you know. A good night was only waking up 4 or 5 times. Now, I'm not complaining, I'm venting out. Or maybe I'm complaining a little bit. But I don't want to fall in a club with the kids. I think it's so easy that people, when they get kids, they fall in some sort of club where they start to complain. I mean, it's awesome. But the first few years for us were incredibly hard. But now, it's totally different. And it's also due to the fact that I'm here, which also has to do with the reason, you know, why I haven't been uploading, and the changes that are about to come.
Now, in the beginning of this summer, we decided to just pull the trigger and say, fuck it. It's time to move out. We can't live in this small apartment anymore. We don't want to live in a tiny box in the city. Nothing wrong with that. It was just, I was feeling like an animal in a cage sometimes. And we were like, let's do it. And we moved to northern Sweden. in the mountains. Had you asked me 10 years ago, what do you think they're doing? My answer would not have been, I would be living on a farm out in the countryside, in the mountains in northern Sweden. I mean, I love it when life is just full of surprises, and now this is, you know, where I live. I mean, our house is just up there, and we are pretty close to Trondheim, which is in Norway, so technically this is like in the middle of Sweden, but Sweden is so big, and the Stockholm people say like, this is far up north. And I mean, the winters are sick. We came checking here in the winter, and it's like minus 30 degrees, and everything is covered in snow, which is awesome. And that has been occupying a lot of my time this summer. Plus, we've been in Iceland, and I've been traveling and all that stuff. But that is a big reason that I haven't had the time to post anything, really. But it's not the only reason.
And the truth is that I've like been pushing myself so hard the last few years that I've gone to the point of like burning out and just beyond that, like totally breaking myself. I mean, I managed to get this channel up to 200,000. My Instagram is 310,000. My TikTok is over 800,000. I have a business around it which makes over 6-figure a year. I have 2 small kids. I try to spend as much time as I can with them. We've lived in a shoebox, honestly. Like, it's unbelievable how small that place was. But I just feel that, yeah, it's just been a lot. And this summer with the move coming up here and this dream of ours, what will this autumn look like now that I feel like we have a fresh season starting? Well, let me tell you, because there are quite some things in the pipe, you know.
Now to start with, and I just want to like figure out what it really means living like this. I mean, this is so different from what I'm used to, and I think also that I'm sort of alike. I'm trying to walk across this little log here and talking to you at the same time. This requires an immense amount of doing things at the same time. It's not easy, but another thing that will be a massive difference for both me and you is the fact that now I'm really close to the great outdoors. I mean, the wilderness here is vast, and the winters are like beyond cold. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to, and also trying to talk to you at the same time while doing this. And I want to create more of these adventure style of content where I'm out capturing photo. I mean, a big reason why we came up here is both we want to be more close to nature, but I also want to be closer to nature so I can photograph it. I'm pretty obsessed with taking pictures, you know? And that I'm hoping to get able to bring you guys with me while doing this. I'm about to fall here, but I hope that I can able to bring you guys with me. But the regular studio content will still be there. I need to build a studio, so that is like on the agenda next week, so I can create like the regular Lightroom tutorials and reviews and everything that you've been seeing. But expect, my friends, way more of outdoor content where we will be exploring this area together. And I mean, one day I will move back to Iceland, but I feel like I'm not done with Sweden yet. I mean, the northern part of Scandinavia have so much to offer, and the wilderness here is vast. And I mean, everybody is in Iceland taking the same photo, so we can be here taking different photos. And then we can just go there, you know, if you want to take a volcano shot, which is pretty sick. I mean, there is an active volcano there right now.
Now, I'm not totally sure if I'll manage to keep the same amount of volume as I had throughout the last years, but let's see. I mean, I'm a highly motivated person, and I'm definitely always up for the challenge. And one thing that I want to do is to up my photography game by a ton, and I'll share with you later this autumn how I'm gonna do that. Also, I'm about to film a Lightroom course, which will be sick, really detailed, and it will be released through an online community for us that like photography and really want to up our game and nerd ourselves in photography. So keep an eye out for that as well. Then for those of you who are interested in becoming full-time creators, then I do have a free weekly newsletter where I share everything that I've learned through the last 10 years of becoming a full-time creative. You can find it in the description down below. It's totally free and it's just like, tips that I send out every week. Everything that's in my brain I'm sharing with you through that medium. And lastly, this simple tip right here will improve your Lightroom skills by 99%. That's not bad.